McCain's deathbed secret just came out about who he killed after skeleton suddenly resurfaces. Senator John McCain is a traitor and an enemy of the American people. Over the past few weeks, disturbing information has emerged about his direct ties to Muslim terrorists and the London bomber, and how he's basically owned by George Soros and the Saudi terrorists. Then last week, McCain successfully fulfilled his role as America's most infamous traitor, officially killing the Obamacare repeal. But nauseatingly, as McCain continues to garner the sympathy for his recent brain cancer diagnosis, while many idiotic Americans hail him a hero for his military service in Vietnam, a disgusting skeleton has just come crawling out of McCain's closet, proving what a shame this man truly is to our country. John McCain graduated from the U.S. Naval Academy in 1958, where he became commissioned as second lieutenant naval aviator. His Navy career was disastrous from beginning, where he crashed 2 Navy jets and was involved with other nearly fatal mishaps shortly after graduation. But because his father and grandfather were both 4-star admirals, McCain got preferential treatment, and able to continue to serve despite being a horrible pilot. But tragically, McCain's cocky actions as a young pilot while aboard the USS Forrestal aircraft carrier on July 31, 1967 would go on to kill 133 sailors, in a horrifying incident where his involvement was scrubbed from the Navy's official records. According to eyewitnesses that day, whose accounts were predictably buried by the Navy due to John McCain's familial ties to 2 4-star generals, McCain decided to be a show-off by doing a wet start of his jet. This reckless maneuver makes fuel build up in the engine before the plane is started. The result is a flame erupting from the tail of the plane, that's accompanied by a startling amount of noise. After McCain started his engine in this manner, the electrical surge of this maneuver subsequently caused the accidental launching of a powerful Zuni rocket across the carrier's deck, that hit 2 other parked planes that were packing 1,000-pound highly explosive bombs. The fire then caused a chain reaction of bombs to detonate, causing explosions that went several decks below. The ensuing explosions nearly sank the 82,000-ton U.S. aircraft carrier, with the fire fatally consuming 133 sailors aboard the Forrestal. The burning platform reported. This stunt and aftermath caused the death of 134 sailors and seriously injure, blow off arms, legs, cause blindness and burns to another 161 sailors, and took the ship off the battle line for extensive repairs. Any other Navy pilot causing this type of death and destruction, the Navy would have raped him and he would probably still be in the brig. Why not McCain? Well, first, with many powerful connections, this little infraction was covered up by the Navy, our most politically involved, connected service by the way. As crew members rushed to put out the flames, McCain fled the scene like a coward, going below deck to the pilot's lounge to watch the men fight the fire on a closed-circuit TV as his brothers-in-arms were consumed by the fire. Truthdig.com reported. Whatever the circumstances of the fire's origins, McCain did not stay on deck to help fight the blaze as the men around him did. With the firefighting crew virtually wiped out, men untrained in fighting fires had to pick up the fire hoses, rescue the wounded or frantically throw bombs and even planes over the ship's side to prevent further tragedy. McCain left them behind and went down to the hangar bay level, where he briefly helped crew members heave some bombs overboard. After that, he went to the pilot's ready room and watched the fire on a television monitor hooked to a camera trained on the deck. It should be noted that the U.S. Navy never pinned blame on anyone for the fire, but given that McCain's dad and grandfather were both 4-star admirals, and the cover-up shouldn't come as much of a surprise. McCain has been adamant in the past about keeping his military record sealed, information that would be able to shed light on his personal involvement. The Washington Post reported. Controversy has surrounded a series of crashes involving planes piloted by John McCain while serving in the U.S. Navy. In his autobiography, the Republican presidential candidate maintained that a couple of the accidents were caused by engine failure. but an official investigation by the Naval Aviation Safety Center makes clear that the first accident, in March 1960, was caused exclusively by pilot error. During the course of his flying career with the U.S. Navy, John McCain was involved in at least 5 major mishaps or crashes involving his plane. The most dramatic incidents occurred in 1967. He barely escaped with his life after a missile exploded aboard an aircraft carrier, the USS Forrestal, in July of that year, killing 134 of his fellow crew members. In October, McCain was shot down over Vietnam by a surface-to-air missile. Mystery has surrounded the precise circumstances of the 3 earlier incidents, and particularly an accident on March 12, 1960, while McCain was still in flight school at Corpus Christi in Texas. The McCain campaign has either ignored or failed to respond to requests by the Washington Post and other news organizations for the release of the candidate's full military records, which could shed light on the accidents and the pilot's personal involvement. The official Navy report into the Corpus Christi accident on March 12, 1960, concludes that the AD-6 Skyraider trainer crashed because McCain failed to maintain an airspeed above the stall speed. It attributed the accident to the preoccupation of the pilot coupled with the power setting too low to maintain level flight. The single-engine prop plane sank to the bottom of Corpus Christi Bay. McCain was rescued by a helicopter after swimming to the surface. Before this idiot dies in the asinine tributes about his military career into, let's all remember what John McCain's legacy truly is. Thanks to his connections to powerful military commanders, not only was his direct involvement in the deaths of 133 of our servicemen buried, but then he was able to go on to become a powerful United States Senator. And we all know McCain's antics at the White House, that are treasonous, at best. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe Breaking News 365 channel. Goodbye and see you again.